Yeah, I'll have to, but he has tried.
Oh, that doesn't help.
Yeah. Well, he found, so the jockey just starting out his track.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see that. They actually found the new.
We'll be there tomorrow.
That helps dramatically to some of them. But yeah, they still get it. He has Sam before he goes back and when he already has.
You know what time you're going to hang it? What's his name? Oh, well, we might not see you tomorrow morning.
Actually starts slightly.
Yeah, it's definitely not over there.
But do breathing and stress reduction. Of course.
Yeah, but if he's leaving at 10, we get there to say goodbye. So maybe we try and be in by 8. Turn it down. So if you plan to leave at 10, maybe we can spend a few minutes. We start for the day. Yeah. So here's the big thing.
For him, it was a lot of yeah.
You're still doing a lot of OT. I know for a long time you were like live a little
Bring your chips.
Yes, that's sure. Like, we think of all the
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's with those.
Yeah, spicy pepperoni.
of course. This is Nikki, my former business partner. Hi. Meow is working on the Evergreen Employee Care Foundation. She's on the board, and she does any other wonderful thing. Let her talk. Yeah.
Except for the ones that bought that building.
So,
You know.
Definitely there is a
My wife was in India. She just texted me that she wanted to work when I am there. She said, I see you
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes.
She says, I see you with your phone. The camera's right there.
Oh my goodness. Did you say you were going? Wait till you're live. There you go.
Where my wife is, it's 1 a.m. So she just said, I'm watching on YouTube, I see you with your phone.
Oh, great. Oh, great. Thank you. Can you do me a favor? the ceremony begins, if the audio needs to go up or down, because I got the judge here, and you can just catch my eye and say,
Let me know how the audio volume level is once the proceedings start. So I'll give you either thumbs up or thumbs down right there.
thanks a bunch.
Or I'll give you, hopefully this.
Yes. But if it's not, we'll fix it.
That's because I'm standing in front of the microphone.
Literally.
They're mic'd up, right? They have a mic.
No, it's just this.
There's probably a reason for that.
Oh, no, it worked. It works the first time I put it in action.
Yeah, so I also signed up for one of the and you two are going to get a notification when it's on.
Keep her away.
And for since end of November,
Blend
since you
together
see
Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day.
okay.
I missed my birthday December 20th, I missed our anniversary December 21st, I missed Christmas, I missed New Year's, I missed Valentine's Day. So either I did not have to worry about celebrating all those events, or I missed all those events, or both.
Or you're going to pay for it when she comes back.
That's her choice.
I know.
She chose the dates.
But that doesn't mean she forfeited anything.
After 20 years, I think it's hard enough to pick up a novel.
Yeah. 20?
For example, sometimes I make a mistake, like 2020 roughly, I bought her a subscription to Cinemark theaters. We pay 10 or 12 bucks a month, we get one free ticket. And you can do online ticketing with no extra charge, discount on concessions.
And then 20%.
But then what happened was the theaters closed down and the subscription continued every month.
Oh, no, they didn't.
And if you cancel the subscription, you lose all the accumulated tickets. So they really had to by the hook.
Oh, so they were going to honor
Don't
them
buy a
after.
Cinemark
They
subscription.
were going to honor them after the
No, if I cancel that subscription, then I lose the 20 tickets that are built up.
So
We
you,
woke up, the thing is, it's very romantic thing of going to the theater, but now they're all Marvel hero movies that don't appeal to me.
yeah.
It would be, if you look at those movies, it's really surprising.
Yeah.
How much of them are superhero movies. That's why we were talking about them tickets.
I need to do something less about it. Although I always say, there's babies, something new really because then I could. But there's Yeah, because I mean, 30 years, we missed every kind of major celebration.
Yeah. I must say, I feel so dumb for this one.
I'm sorry.
Is anybody sitting here? Is anybody sitting here? No?
Final person, yeah, and that was powerful. Sorry, I just need to make sure that and then actually, Melissa does very similar work to what I do. Oh, no, she does.
Stand in front of the light and the black
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah, so we've even since we. And then also.
Hi, Bill.
That really grew out of.
This one's that one in the second.
Issues
We're gonna put another row here. Do we want, is there one there?
You know, I don't know if they'll be able to see or thank you.
never got back to you.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, I can read it. And I'm not even at the phone.
I mean, they don't need it until like service. Yeah, still
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe they'll hire somebody who's not like it today. It's not
Family and friends, services for Tim will be beginning in just a couple minutes. As we find a seat, we'd like to remind you to please turn off or silence your cell phones at this time. Thank you.
Alicia.
Is there anybody that doesn't have a card? Anybody have a card? Anybody not have Anybody else need a card? Anybody else need one? Anybody else need a card?
Good afternoon and welcome to the celebration of the life of Timothy Donahue. Now I just wanted to note, it's most unusual to tell people to turn off their cell phones in a funeral setting, but given some of the stories I've heard, I can just imagine your ringtone, so I am happy for that. Rings of Tim, I appreciate the announcement from Kelsey. So today is a very different place. The world is very different, not because Timothy Donahue has died, but because he lived fully, abundantly, joyfully. And that is why you have gathered here today to celebrate his life, and each of you a reflection, each of you an honor, each of you a tribute to who he was and how he will be remembered. How his memory will remain with you and continue to influence you in your life. Your gathering today has created sacred space, because sacred space always is created by love, honor, and respect. And it is only sacred space that is strong enough to hold the awful grief of your loss. It is only sacred space that is big enough to contain the awesome joy that each of you knew from sharing in his life. A life that Tim shared distinctively with each of you, as evidenced in that wonderful box of cards and letters that made its way around the kitchen. And it is only sacred space that is big enough to hold all of your hopes, known and unknown. And sacred space is the only space that can gently hold all that needed to be and was not said or forgiven. Melissa had asked for, felt a need to include something spiritual in the memorial. Given Tim's commitment to the earth, to the environment and nature, I would offer a loosely translated story from my tradition about faith, love, trust, believing, seeking and finding meaning. Again, loosely translated. One day, followers of Jesus came to him and they said, "Help us believe." And Jesus said, "Well, if all the amazing beauty and wonders of nature, the seasons, the glory of the stars in the heavens, the mystery of the seas, if all of creation that surrounds you does not give you pause and hope that you are magnificent and beloved of the Creator, what more can I say?" So given that ancient philosophers also believed that meaning and joy and sorrow can be shared and survived in a story, today you've gathered, remembering and sharing so many stories about Tim, who he was to each one of you, family and friends, and the man who lived so graciously beside you, who was so graciously beside you all this time, is now the memory of love that you will keep inside of you from now on. Because the energy and joy of your memories tell us that death is a transition, not a termination of who Tim was and will remain in your memories and your life. For the sacred writings of all spiritual traditions tell us that in all the important places and spaces of our lives, we will always experience the loves of our lives. And imagine the lives that will carry on this love. Melissa, beloved wife and partner of 34 years, Sam and Lauren, Annalise, his brothers and sisters, 16, and from what I finally made out from some of the stories, possibly now 17, who call him uncle and great one on many levels, and friends. So many friends. The generous and rich life, 66 years, that Tim lived from Pittsburgh to West Africa to Ann Arbor, 6 continents, 25 countries, who's counting. They are the truths of a life fully lived and a death fully accepted on his own terms. Now there are tears, there is sadness, but there is also discipline, as well as grace and blessing and rejoicing. And I've heard stories that there was dancing. So his life reflected the wholeness and the holiness of life and creation, and his integrity of living both. That is your comfort. Tim was a faithful witness to that integrity of a life fully lived, loving the world. And each and every one of you, may it be so. Aaron?
We'd like to share with you a 19th century poem. I am standing upon the seashore, a A ship at my side spreads her white sails to the morning breeze and starts for the blue ocean. She is an object of beauty and strength. I stand and watch her until at length she hangs like a speck of white cloud, just where the sea and sky come together to mingle. Then someone at my side says, "There, she is gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. She is just as large in mast and hull and spar as she was when she left my side, and she is just as able to bear the load of living freight to her destined port. Her diminished size is in me, not in her. And just at the moment when someone at my side says, "There, she is gone," there are other eyes watching her coming, and other voices ready to take up the glad shout, "Here she comes." And that is dying.
And now the Threshold Singers will sing two wonderful songs that they sang for Tim last Tuesday when he was dying and took his last breath. The Threshold Singers.
The first song we sang for Tim, "May Peace Be With You." May peace be with you. Peace be with you now. May peace be with you always. Peace be with you now and always.
Our farewell song to Tim was Go Simply. Go with the strength you have, go simply, lightly, gently, in search of love, and the Spirit go with you. Go with the strength you have, go simply, lightly, gently, in search of love, and the Spirit go with you. Go with the strength you have, go simply, lightly, gently, in search of love, and the Spirit go with you. Go with the strength you have, go simply, lightly, gently, in search of love, and the Spirit go with you.
Brian? Sir?
Tim. Good afternoon. My name is Brian Fisher. I guess now hyphen Schuster, hyphen Donahue. Because I recently found out I was adopted by Tim and his family. That's Tim's younger brother. How blessed am I? Tim and I first met in 1984 at our Peace Corps Stateside Training Center in Frogmore, South Carolina. That was the start of a nearly 42-year friendship. As you know, Tim never judged someone new to him. He just smiled and engaged to try to get to know you. Because of our shared interest in the natural world and in running, through those weeks in South Carolina, we became friends, but it was certainly the start of our brotherhood that we formed a very tight bond. When we got to our language and cultural training in Senegal, West Africa, Tim was already light years ahead of many with his previous overseas experiences. But true to Tim, as he learned the Senegalese national language of Wolof, he became a mentor not only to me, but many other volunteers who were new to the ways of the world. It was never anything formal, but as most of you probably already know, teaching and leadership, that was just Tim. That's what he did. And after Tim and I were assigned to the same forestry project, in our first year in Senegal, where we lived about 10 kilometers apart, we would frequently walk to each other's village. As I struggled to learn Wolof, because I'm not a good language learner, the people in my village loved it when Tim came to He picked up not only the language, but the cultural nuances. And that made him so beloved by my villagers. But
But again, true to Tim, even though they were drawn to him and his language skills, he never made it about him, and always deflected it back to me and told the people in my village, Biram is trying, just listen to him. Biram is my Senegalese name. One thing I never knew about Tim until a few weeks ago at his celebration, I told you his affinity to pick up language. Well, I found out from a fellow volunteer that when he would go and visit that volunteer's village, he would speak with one of the elders in the village in a form of Pig Latin and Wolof. I can barely speak a line of the language, and he's there doing whatever. So, yeah, that's so Tim. He could connect with any generation of Senegalese, and he could even out-Senegalese some of the Senegalese, especially with his Wolof proverbs, because he was very much into the proverbs of that country. After serving together in Senegal for 3 years, in the spring of 1988, he left Pittsburgh, visited me in Wisconsin, helped me put a new roof on my parents' house, and then the two of us hopped into my brand new truck, and we headed out west with no real plans other than find jobs. Well, we ended up separating ways with new adventures in life a short time after we got to South Lake Tahoe, where we ended up. Well, we never lost contact. There were periods of time when we just didn't talk to each other that much, but I always knew that we were bonded. I was able to be at Tim and Melissa's wedding and visit them occasionally in Ann Arbor. For his 50th birthday, Melissa arranged a surprise party with a few of the Peace Corps volunteers that we served with. As many of you know, Tim loved to cook, so guess what? He ended up cooking for his own surprise party. At any time that Peace Corps volunteers get together, it's like there was no time that actually passed between us. And certainly when Tim was involved, and you heard that distinctive laugh and saw that big smile on his face, you know good times were ahead. So we always reminisced about stories and our times together in Peace Corps. When I learned of Tim's PSP diagnosis, I knew I couldn't make up for lost time since our last visit together. But at least I could visit with him and Melissa to take in as much of that Tim spirit that nourished so many people around the world over his lifetime. During the visits over the last year or so, it's as if we never missed a beat when we would visit each other. It just felt totally natural to both of us. That was our brotherhood bond. Even though Tim was frustrated with his physical and communication abilities due to PSP, he never lost his ability to smile and joke during that journey of his last few days. And all you have to do is ask his daughter-in-law, Lauren, about a specific story. She'll tell you. So that brings us here today. While Tim was not particularly spiritual, I can tell you that his physical presence, going back to the earth, the universe is expanding at an accelerated rate to accommodate his just immense spirit. We will continue to experience Tim long into the future in ways we can't even envision today. As Tim loved the Wolof tradition of using proverbs, I would like to leave you with a short but simple one that struck a chord with me. Neat neat ay garabam, and that translated directly is, a person is another person's remedy. Tim was and will certainly continue to be all of our remedy. So Tim, fanano lakjam samaboram, that means rest in peace, my brother. Now I'd like to introduce Tim and Melissa's son, Sam, who will share memories of his family.
Welcome everybody, and thank you for coming to celebrate my father's life with us today. It would be impossible to sum up my dad's life and his impact on those around him in a few short paragraphs, but I'd like to highlight a couple of things today. My dad loved being my dad. I say my dad, but of course I'm including my sister Annalise. As a dad, he always had all of the answers and was eager to impart his wisdom. The earliest example of this is when I was 4 or 5 years old, living in our first home on Sycamore Place, and I asked him if he knew how to fly. Yep, he replied. Shocked, I asked him to teach me, to which he replied, when you're older. A little later in life, he taught me other things. How to fish, how to cook, how to drive, how to clean gutters and patch holes in drywall, how to treat others with dignity and respect, how to remain even keel at all times, how to solve problems, how to carry yourself and interact with the world. Even when he wasn't outwardly teaching, he was showing me what a loving, respectful, and healthy marriage looked like, and what a stable and safe home looked like, what providing and taking care of your family looked like. I remember driving from Ann Arbor to Cleveland by myself for the first time when I was 17 to visit family. Yes, this was before Apple Maps or car navigation systems. At one point, I had forgot to reset the odometer on my car to help me keep track of how many miles before my next exit, as described on the MapQuest printout I had lying next to me. One quick phone call, and my dad was able to cheerfully pinpoint where I was and confirm that I was on the correct route, and he told me how much longer until my next exit, quelling any mild panic I'd accumulated at that point. He always had the answers, and he loved being my dad. Something my dad always loved was grocery shopping. When I came to live with my parents in the fall of 2024 while I was finishing my degree, and PSP had already taken away much of his independence, he still enjoyed coming along to go shopping with me. Every time that we were halfway through the list, I would pretend that I didn't know where an item or two were within the store, so that he could feel like my dad again, would have the answer and lead us to where we needed to go. As my mom says, he's left a Tim-sized hole in all of us when he died. But I take great solace in the fact that this is what he wanted, and he didn't let the disease that he had control his fate in the end. I hope to one day have half the answers that my dad did and be able to go through life with the same confidence, knowledge, respect, and impact that he had.
And Glenn Hendricks will now, a friend of the family, will play some lovely Irish melodies.
I still like this mother.
Aaron?
I'm Erin, and I'm one of Tim's sisters. And I invite everyone now, if you have your card, we would like to ask you all to read aloud together the Mary Oliver poem that's on the back. It's called When Death Comes. So please join me. When death comes,
like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from its purse, to buy me and snaps the purse shut. When death comes like the measles pox, when death comes like an iceberg between shoulder blades, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness? And therefore I look upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood. And I look upon time as no more than an idea. And I consider eternity as another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a field daisy, and as singular, and each name a comfortable music in my mouth, tending as all music does towards silence, and each body a lion of courage and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say all my life, I was the bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I have made my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world.
I know Melissa would like to say a few words, and then Kelsey will finish with us, but
Close my eyes. Words cannot express my deep gratitude to all of you, friends and family, and especially the support and love you've shown us over the last weeks and months. Thank you.
Family and friends, this now concludes services for Tim. My staff member will dismiss you row by row, so you may come forward and say a final goodbye to Tim. After you said your final goodbye, please make your way back to your seats so we may take him to his final resting place. We'll begin dismissing in the back. pallbearers please come forward? Family and friends, if you'd like to follow us behind to say a final goodbye as we drive off.
I appreciate, thank you for that, because I never know when people don't want God, they want something spiritual, so I never know where to go with that. But, you know, at least he had a sense of nature, the environment, that was his job, his studies, environmental nature, biology. Yeah. So, that was an easy one. But yeah, I think it's, I appreciate people want something after life. But if they haven't been to church, they don't know who to call, they don't know what to do. Anyway, thank you, I appreciate you noticing. This is like very loose translation.
There's no fact in checking this. It's not a fact.
No, it's like, yeah, it's a story. Stories are
Story.
good. Stories are good.
Thanks again.
Thank you, sir.